Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. And today we're going to be talking about the intersection of nature mindfulness and personal well-being.
Yeah.
And to do that, we're going to be looking at some sources from Spirituality Shepherded, some research from nature-based therapists,
Right.
and even some insights from ISPO, which is a global sports network. So,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to be exploring what these practices are and why they're powerful, and of course, how to weave them into our lives.
It's fascinating how we tend to view nature as just a pretty backdrop, but there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, you're right. Like, there's that concept of biophilia. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
It's kind of complicated, but essentially we're hardwired to need nature, right?
Exactly. Our connection with nature is a biological need.
Mm-hmm.
It's crucial for our well-being and even survival.
Survival. Wow, that's serious.
Yeah, we've evolved over millions of years in nature, and it's only recently that we've become disconnected.
That's true. I mean, we're spending more and more time indoors staring at screens. It's more than just feeling good, though, right?
Yeah.
There's actual science behind how nature impacts us.
Absolutely, like the stress reduction theory,
Okay.
which shows that being in nature literally lowers our stress response.
Really?
Yeah, studies have shown that even brief exposure to nature can reduce cortisol, which is our stress hormone, and it can also lower blood pressure.
So it's not just in my head when I feel calmer after a walk in the woods or something like that.
No, not at all.
It's like my body is actually chilling out.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. But I've also heard that nature can boost focus and creativity. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there's a theory called attention restoration theory.
Okay.
And it suggests that nature helps our brains recharge from all the mental fatigue we experience in our modern lives.
Yeah, all the technology and stuff.
Exactly. And research shows that spending time in nature improves attention span, memory, and creative problem solving.
Wow, so if I'm having a hard time writing something, maybe I should go for a hike instead of staring at a blank screen.
It couldn't hurt.
Yeah, go out and be in nature.
Yeah.
I like that.
And here's another interesting thing. Studies have shown that spending time in nature actually makes people more cooperative and empathetic.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's like nature brings out the best in us.
So it's good for us individually, and it's good for us as a society.
Exactly.
Nature is pretty amazing, so how do we actually bring more of it into our lives?
Well, that's where mindfulness comes in.
Okay.
Our sources from Spirituality Shepherd highlight some really intriguing practices that combine mindfulness with nature.
Okay.
And the best part is, many of them are actually very easy to do.
Okay, so let's dive into some of those practices.
Sure.
There's one that caught my eye, and it's called forest bathing.
Yeah.
I have to admit, it sounds a little intense.
What?
Do I have to be naked in the woods or something?
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Forest bathing, or Shinrin-yoku as it's known in Japan, is about immersing yourself in the forest atmosphere, using all your senses.
All our senses. Okay.
Yeah, it's about slowing down and taking in the sights, the sounds, the smells, and even the textures of the forest.
So it's more than just going for a hike. It's about really being present
Exactly.
and absorbing the forest's energy.
You got it.
Okay, I can get behind that. And research has actually shown that forest bathing can have some remarkable benefits, right?
Yeah, things like reduced stress, improved mood, and even boosted immune function.
That's impressive. I'm definitely going to have to try that. What about ocean breathing? That one sounds incredibly calming.
Yeah, ocean breathing is all about synchronizing your breath with the rhythm of the waves.
Okay.
As a wave comes in, you inhale deeply, and as it recedes, you exhale slowly.
Okay.
It's a way to connect with the natural rhythm of the ocean and use that rhythm to regulate your own breath and calm your mind.
I love that image. I can almost feel the ocean breeze and hear the waves crashing just thinking about it.
It's very relaxing.
So we had a ton of other practices to cover.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about these nature-based mindfulness practices?
Well, one common misconception is that they're only for, like hippie types or people who live out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But the truth is, anyone can benefit from connecting with nature, no matter where they live or what their lifestyle is like.
You don't have to live in a log cabin to do this.
Exactly.
And you don't have to be an expert meditator either, right?
Oh,
or
yeah.
spend hours and hours out in the wilderness.
Nope. Even small, consistent moments of connection can make a difference.
Small, consistent moments. Okay. I like that. And another misconception is that these practices are just about relaxation.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than that, right?
So much more. They can help us cultivate awareness, boost creativity, and even foster a deeper connection to ourselves and the world.
Okay, that's really powerful. So it's not just about Feeling good, it's about personal growth and connection.
Exactly. Sometimes the most powerful practices are the simplest ones,
Oh, okay.
like stargazing meditation.
So you just go outside at night and look at the stars?
Pretty much, yeah.
I've got to admit, I always feel a little silly doing things like that. It seems almost too simple.
Yeah, but there's actually research that supports the benefits of awe-inspiring experiences like stargazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, studies have shown that these types of experiences can reduce stress, increase feelings of well-being, and even make people more altruistic.
So, like, staring into the vastness of the universe puts our own problems into perspective.
Exactly.
Okay, I can see how that could be beneficial.
Yeah.
What about some other simple practices that might surprise people?
Well, there's walking barefoot, or earthing, as some call it.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, you basically just kick off your shoes and walk on the ground, grass, soil, sand, anything you can find.
I always thought that was kind of weird, to be honest.
Yeah, I know it sounds a little out there,
Yeah.
but the idea is that direct contact with the Earth's surface can balance our body's electrical charge and reduce inflammation.
Interesting.
Now, it sounds far-fetched, I know,
Yeah.
but there is some research suggesting it might actually have positive effects on sleep pain and stress.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like plugging ourselves back into the Earth's natural energy.
Yeah. Okay. I might have to try that. Now I love journaling.
Mm-hmm.
So nature journaling really caught my eye. What's the difference between that and just regular journaling?
Nature journaling takes your writing practice outdoors. You bring a notebook and pen into nature and simply record your observations, thoughts, and feelings.
So I could describe like the sounds of the birds or the way the sunlight filters through the leaves.
Exactly. Or even just how you're feeling in that moment.
Okay. I like that idea. It seems like a really mindful way to connect with nature and maybe tap into some creativity.
Right. And studies have shown that nature journaling can boost creativity, reduce stress, and improve your mood.
And it's a great way to keep a record of all your nature experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of creativity, one of the sources mentioned mindful gardening.
Yes.
Does that really count as a nature-based mindfulness practice? I mean, it's work.
Oh, it definitely counts. Gardening can be incredibly mindful. You're engaging all your senses, the feel of the soil, the scent of the plants, the sounds of birds and insects. And it connects us to the cycles of life, death, and renewal.
Okay, that's a good point. I've never really thought about it like that, but I have to admit, I don't really have a green thumb.
That's okay. Even having a few plants inside can be beneficial.
Really?
Yeah, studies have shown that indoor plants can improve air quality, reduce stress, and even boost productivity.
Oh, wow. So maybe I should get some plants for my desk.
It's worth a try.
Okay, so far we've talked a lot about forests and gardens,
Mm-hmm.
but what about water? I always feel so relaxed when I'm near the ocean or a lake.
You're not alone. There's a term for that, actually, blue space.
Blue space, okay.
It refers to the psychological benefits of being near water, and research has shown that spending time in these blue spaces reduces stress, improves mood, and even enhances creativity.
It's interesting how different natural environments seem to offer different benefits.
Right.
Forests feel really grounding to me, whereas water feels more calming and expansive.
I agree, and there are specific practices that leverage those qualities, like river reflection, for example, where you sit by a flowing stream and just allow your thoughts to flow with the water carrying away any worries you might have.
That sounds really peaceful.
It is.
Okay, so earlier we touched on nature-based therapy,
Right.
which sounds like a more formal way to use nature for healing. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Nature-based therapy is basically any type of therapy that incorporates nature into the treatment.
Okay.
It could be anything from traditional talk therapy in a natural setting
Yeah.
to more experiential approaches like wilderness therapy.
Okay, so who would benefit from nature-based therapy? Is it just for people who really love being outdoors?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Nature-based therapy has been shown to be effective for a wide range of conditions: anxiety, depression, PTSD, addiction.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and it can also be really helpful for people who are going through big life changes or who just want to improve their overall well-being.
I see. So it's not just about treating specific mental health conditions. It's about using nature as a tool for growth and healing in general.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But I imagine there are some challenges with conducting therapy outdoors, right?
Of course, safety is the top priority. Therapists who practice nature-based therapy need to be very knowledgeable about risk management, wilderness first aid, and things like that.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for unexpected situations.
Right. And they also need to be aware of weather conditions and the potential for wildlife encounters.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance between enjoying nature and respecting its power.
Exactly.
Okay, so now I think our listeners are eager to hear those really simple tips for bringing more nature into their lives.
Yeah, me too.
So let's dive into those.
Awesome. One of the easiest things you can do is simply go for a walk and pay attention to the changing seasons.
Just notice like the colors of the leaves, the smells in the air, the sounds of the birds.
Exactly. Slow down and really pay attention.
I like that another simple one is creating a nature corner in your home or workspace.
Right.
Like a little collection of plants or some stones you found on a hike.
Exactly. Or even just a picture of a beautiful landscape.
I've been meaning to do that. I think it would be nice to have a little piece of nature to look at when I'm feeling stressed.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And here's another easy one. Watch the sunrise or sunset.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to do it every day, but taking a few moments to appreciate those times a day can be really grounding.
I agree. There's something magical about sunrise and sunset.
Absolutely.
I think we often take it for granted.
We do.
Now, I'm not much of an artist, but one of the sources mentioned getting creative with nature. What did they mean by that?
They were suggesting things like making a nature mandala, creating a twig sculpture, or doing a leaf rubbing.
Oh, wow.
It's about using natural materials to express yourself in a fun way.
Okay, that sounds fun. I might have to try that. What about nature journaling? We talked about it earlier, but do you have any specific tips?
The most important thing is to just start writing. Don't worry about being perfect or poetic. Just describe what you see, how you feel, and what you're grateful for.
So it's like having a conversation with nature on paper.
That's a great way to put it.
And speaking of connecting with nature through our senses,
Yes.
what about savoring seasonal foods?
Oh, I love that one.
But how does that connect us to nature?
Well, by choosing foods that are grown locally and are in season, you're aligning yourself with the natural rhythms of the earth.
Right, and it supports local farmers.
Exactly.
Mm.
And the food often just tastes better.
Fresh and delicious.
All right.
All right, so this next one I'm all about take your workouts outside.
Yes, exercising in nature is a fantastic way to combine the benefits of movement with the mental and emotional benefits of being outdoors.
It could be anything from a walk in the park to like a trail run.
Exactly.
I've been doing a lot of yoga in the park lately, and it's amazing how much more connected I feel to my body and my surroundings.
It's a great way to practice.
Now, we talked about stargazing meditation, but what about just plain old stargazing?
Yeah.
I love looking at the stars. It's so humbling.
It is. It reminds us of our place in the universe.
Okay, I think I need to plan a stargazing trip soon. What about connecting with nature through other people?
That's a great idea. There are lots of community nature activities you could join, like tree plantings, park cleanups, or group nature walks.
Oh, that's a good idea. It's a great way to meet people who share your love of nature.
And it's a way to give back to the environment.
So it's a win-win. Speaking of giving back, one of our sources mentioned building a small wildlife habitat.
Right.
But isn't that just for people with big backyards?
Not at all. You can create a mini habitat on a balcony or even a windowsill by planting native flowers, putting up a bird feeder, or creating a little water source.
I like that it's like inviting nature to be a part of our homes.
Exactly.
So we've talked about a lot of serious stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but are there any fun ways to connect with nature?
Of course there are. One of my favorite things to do is rediscover natural play.
Okay.
Like, remember when you were a kid and you used to build forts, climb trees, and catch bugs?
Oh, yeah. I used to spend so much time exploring the woods behind my house.
We still do that.
Really?
Give yourself permission to be silly. Get your hands dirty and connect with nature in a way that brings you joy.
Okay, you've convinced me I'm going to go out and play. What other fun tips do you have?
Try a nature photography scavenger hunt.
Okay.
Make a list of things to find and photograph in nature, like a red leaf, a spiral pattern, or a bird in flight.
That sounds like a lot of fun. It's like a treasure hunt for nature lovers.
Exactly, and it's a great way to train your eye to see the beauty and wonder that's all around us.
I love that we talked about forest bathing and ocean breathing earlier.
Right.
Are there any other nature-inspired breathing exercises we can try?
Sure. Find a comfy spot in nature and just focus on your breath as you listen to the sounds around you.
Okay.
You can even try syncing your inhales and exhales with the rhythm of the wind, the waves, or even the chirping of birds.
It's like nature is providing the soundtrack for our breath. I like that.
It is pretty cool. And now, for my favorite tip, the sit spot.
The sit spot. Okay, what's that?
It's just a special place in nature where you can go to be present and observe. It could be a favorite tree, a bench by the water, a spot in your garden, anywhere that feels peaceful.
And what do you do there?
Just sit, breathe, and observe Watch the clouds go by, listen to the birds sing, feel the breeze on your skin. It's like a mini meditation.
It sounds so simple, but so powerful.
It is.
It's like having a little sanctuary in the midst of all the chaos.
Exactly. And the more you visit your sit spot, the more you'll notice the changes in nature throughout the year.
Okay, I'm adding find a sit spot to my to-do list. I'm curious, what are some of the unexpected benefits you've experienced from connecting with nature more mindfully?
One of the biggest surprises for me has been how much it's boosted my creativity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I'm feeling stuck, a walk in the woods or some time in my garden always helps me break through.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
often get my best ideas when I'm out in nature too, away from all the distractions.
Right, it's like nature clears our minds and opens up new possibilities.
Totally. And another unexpected benefit for me has been a deeper sense of gratitude.
Yeah, I feel that too.
The more time I spend in nature, the more I appreciate all the simple things.
Yeah, the beauty of a sunset, the sound of birds singing, the warmth of the sun, it's all so incredible.
Nature has a way of reminding us of what really matters.
It does. It brings us back to the present moment and helps us appreciate the beauty that's all around us.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of ways to benefit from nature,
We have.
but we need to talk about safety too.
That's right. We don't want to scare anyone, but it's important to be aware of the potential risks.
So how can we stay safe while enjoying nature?
When choosing a place to go, make sure it's a safe and inviting space.
Okay.
If you're exploring a new area, do some research.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to well-marked paths and let someone know where you're going.
Especially if you're going alone.
Right, and always check the weather forecast
Oh, yeah.
and dress appropriately.
I've definitely learned that one the hard way.
Yeah, and even if you're just going for a short walk, pack essentials like water, snacks, and a first aid kit.
It's always better to be prepared.
Absolutely, and be aware of your own physical limitations.
Yeah.
If you're tired, take a break. If you're feeling pain, don't push yourself.
Right. Respect your body and listen to what it's telling you.
And if you're doing something more adventurous like rock climbing or kayaking, make sure you have the right skills and equipment.
And maybe go with a guide.
Good idea.
Safety first. So we've covered a lot of ground today,
We have.
but we have one last big question to explore.
If nature is so powerful and can heal and inspire us, shouldn't we be thinking bigger about how we incorporate it into our lives?
You mean beyond just individual practices?
Right, like what are the implications for society as a whole if spending time in nature can reduce stress, boost creativity, and make us more kind and compassionate?
That's a really interesting question. What would a more nature-integrated society look like?
Well, imagine cities with way more green spaces like parks and community gardens, even rooftop forests, and workplaces that incorporate natural elements like plants and natural light in homes designed to connect us with nature, maybe with courtyards or balconies full of greenery.
I love that vision. It sounds so much healthier and more harmonious than the concrete jungles we often find ourselves in.
It does, and it's not just about aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
Studies have shown that access to nature improves physical and mental health, reduces crime, and even boosts economic productivity.
So it's not just a nice to have, it's essential.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this deep dive has really highlighted that we need to shift how we view nature. It's not separate from us. It's a part of who we are.
I completely agree. We've explored so many fascinating practices and concepts today, from forest bathing to blue space to just noticing the changing seasons. And it's clear that nature has this incredible power to heal, inspire, and connect us.
And it's accessible to everyone, no matter where you live.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a challenge.
Okay?
What's one small step you can take today to invite more nature into your life?
Maybe take a few minutes to go outside and appreciate the sunset.
Oh, yeah.
Or start a nature journal. Or create a little green oasis in your home.
Or just kick off your shoes and walk barefoot on the grass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, make a commitment to nurture your connection with nature and see how it changes your life.
And remember, by connecting with nature, you're not just benefiting yourself, you're also contributing to a healthier world.
So go out there, explore, connect, and let nature work its magic.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of nature-based mindfulness and therapy.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time, happy exploring.